How's it hanging? It's your local alien. Really quick, please heed the warnings above. As I've said before, my microphone sucks. I'm using my iPad. I'm working on getting money for a mic, but if you want to help by commissioning me, you can. My information is below. Anyway, I'm sure you've read the title, so let's get into it. Really quick, please take everything I say with a grain of salt. I am not a professional. My content is to add context to situations that people might not know about, so that's what I'm gonna do in this video. Without further ado, let's go up into the spaceship. The first thing that I want to touch on right now is Kumo's past. Kumo Commentary started his channel back 2 years ago when he was freshly 17 to 18. His content hasn't changed, he's just art commentary, it's always been the same. But one thing that people tend to hold over his head is the cutting allegations. I looked over all the messages and I think it's pretty easy to see that Kumo was groomed into thinking this behavior was okay. While he wasn't super young, he was still very impressionable at very early 17 to 18, and as someone who's within the same age range as Kumo, I can 100% say that when I was 17 to 18, I did some things that I do regret to this day. So yeah, while it was weird and wrong, he was young. I'm not gonna hold it against him. After just freshly scraping away from Lyle Convoy, he has now been getting involved in the Cinebear03 drama. Synnibear03 posted a video with her response to all this drama, which in the video she name-dropped Kumo. She even quoted him, which made it very obvious that he helped with the script. Not soon after, he hosted a live stream, which he titled, "I Think I'm Debating People Today," which I watched both parts, and instead of a debate, it more so just sounds like Kumo blatantly defending Synni in a very uneducated stance. I'll show a couple clips, but I'm not going to go over the entire live stream. If you want to watch it, it's still up on his account, and multiple people have already covered it.
It's fine for there to be some social backlash, but what I disagree with is accusations of like grooming and like calling this person a pedophile when the basis doesn't, like when the basis are DM logs, like cropped screenshots of DM logs that don't support that notion. So when I read those DMs, I just see two girls in like different age group aside. I just see two women like fawning over like Joe down the street and his washboard abs, you know, and like I don't see that as like, I don't interpret that as, oh, Synni is trying to like desensitize this kid to porn. Like this kid was already like, they shared the same interest. Like that's why they were even discussing it. They both thought this character was hot or whatever.
But like I still think like even if it wasn't intent to groom, it's kind of similar to that. Although like correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't been groomed myself. So this is like a whole thing.
I think grooming is honestly one of the weakest fucking. Grooming itself isn't even like defined as a like criminal act. I think it's one of the weakest and most annoying things that gets like construed and likened to like serious like fucking depraved shit like child rape. Like you could groom a kid to be a fucking world like a dictator. You know, it doesn't have to be like sexual grooming. And that's like a thing, right? But like we're throwing this word out here and we're calling it like grooming when there's like no clear sign that this person wants a like sexual relationship or a like or that this is to like form a relationship or a pattern. It's kind of just these two are like, it's like locker room girl talk if the girls in the locker room were fucking chronically online and didn't go outside and one of them was like extremely socially retarded.
I kind of see that. Like as I've said, I'm just a messenger.
That's just a small example of the kind of stuff he was saying. Again, I'm not going to go over it because that's not the focus of today's video. Everyone in the community seems to be hating on Jack for getting 10K from his GoFundMe, and I want to add some context. With GoFundMes, you're supposed to set a goal for the money that you need or want. From what I've seen, no one truly expects to even reach their goal. And even then, the price of living today in America is unbelievably high. The amount of money you need just to afford a decent place to live and decent food is outrageous. On top of that, Jack has said multiple times that he has a heart condition which leaves him completely physically unable to work. And if I remember correctly, he's not receiving benefits right now. And even if he did, that would be under $1,000. He would still need that extra money to even sustain himself. And even then with SSI, he would have to use all of his SSI money within 1 month. If he doesn't, his SSI payments will stop altogether and he won't receive any more benefits. I know this because my mother's trying to get on disability for her MS and I'm on EBT. Also from a quick Google search. People are also complaining that he didn't give any of the money to Enno, which please tell me what a 14-year-old would do with that money, or why you don't think their parents might take it away. People have also been complaining about Jack getting more attention than Enno, but Enno's not even on the internet right now. There can also be multiple victims in one situation, which is what's happening in this situation. People just cannot grasp the subject of looking at the whole picture instead of just one area specifically, aka multitasking. We're allowed to focus on multiple smaller situations in a giant situation. After he started receiving backlash for this, he made a community post. In this post, he said that he was glad he never defended Synni, except he blatantly did, and this post was conveniently timed when Omegon's post about Synni came out. Obviously, no one's listening to him, and the only thing that actually wakes him up from his delusion is her talking to Jar. I might make a video about Jar too, but I probably won't because I just don't want to give him any more attention. He's so annoying. Into the meat of this video, I want to cover a call that recently happened between Synni, Kumo, and RomanticGoblin. I'm gonna skip some unimportant clips for time's sake, but with that being said, let's get into it.
Okay, Synni. I'll just be blunt with you. I have a problem with how you've effectively lied and have been performative for like the last, I don't know, almost month with me.
The issue here is Kumo's just now finding out something that we've been telling him for weeks now. And ironically, he's just now learning this after she's talked to Jar. I think that's extremely ironic timing.
In that interview, you were not the anxious, paranoid, remorseful Synnibear. You were the Synnibear who's like confident and making steps towards repairing her career rather than bettering herself and making sure she doesn't make the same mistakes again. That's who you were in that interview, and that's not who we've been talking to. And when you make comments like you didn't realize this was an issue until now, it only further confirms to us, and you even trying to double down also confirmed to us that you didn't believe a single word you were saying to us. You were just giving us lip service.
I really don't know why you're surprised about this, Kumo. All of us have been saying she's not sorry. All of us have been warning you about this behavior, and you blatantly ignored us. So I want to feel bad, but I can't. Because this is your own fault.
Like, I knew how this guy was. I warned you how he was. I told you what position you were in, and I was very conscious and scared on your behalf because of what position you're in. Jar could have raped you, and that's probably what he was trying to, like, that was probably his dream, his end goal. You know, like, how could he get caught in a cheating scandal or dumped by his girlfriend if nobody will believe it ever happened? Nobody would believe it ever, like, half of the people, if you came out and said he did that to you, half of the people wouldn't believe you. The other half would believe you, but they'd be like, no, I'm not going to give sympathy to a pedophile, because that's what they've been calling you.
So, this rape stuff, I don't think anyone knows where it came from. Out of every allegation, this has to be the craziest because he doesn't even have proof of this. He has literally nothing to back this up. Don't get me wrong, I do not like Jar, but Jesus Christ, Kumo, you can't be spreading around false allegations like that. Not only is that extremely irresponsible from your end, but blatantly disgusting.
You sound like you've genuinely convinced yourself that nobody in this group cared about you. Did we do things that people who didn't care about you would have done? As if my ulterior motives can't coexist with, like, caring. Like, both can be true. I can have an ulterior motive and still care and try to help you.
That is a straight up lie and contradiction. When you genuinely care about someone, you're not going to try and help them with an ulterior motive in mind. An ulterior motive is a concealed meaning or intention behind saying or doing something. For example, a guy taking a girl out just so he can get laid. So I wonder, what was your ulterior motive? What else could you possibly get out of this? My assumption personally, I think you wanted the clout and the attention. But that means you were never really interested in helping Synni. And that makes you just as bad as Lio. Not to mention that's also extremely hypocritical given that you just got on Jar's case for having an ulterior motive. Why are you allowed to, but he can't?
Like, make it perfectly clear that you were aware he was making passes at you. And now you're acting uncertain that that was the case.
I didn't think it was at the time. At the time, I thought he was just being, like, weird. I didn't think it was, like, an actual pass. Like, I was assuming that he was, like...
You're smarter than you're letting on.
I thought it was weird. I didn't think it was, like, a flirt. Like...
So why was it weird?
Because I just thought it was strange to say, because it's just not something you say.
Because you thought it was a flirt?
Not really, it's just...
Well, then why would it be strange?
I mean... I don't know, it's just not, like, a thing I hear people say very often.
I'm a very not mean person. I try to sympathize with everybody that I can, but Kumo straight up sounds like a jealous boyfriend. I think this is why people are calling it a breakup call, because Kumo literally sounds like he just got cheated on. He sounds like a boyfriend getting upset at his girlfriend for talking to other guys. That's honestly a mix of embarrassing and hilarious. I think Kumo very strongly thinks with his emotions instead of thinking rationally, and it leads to situations like this. But that's just my opinion.
We genuinely cared and wanted you to get better, and we were actively trying to help you with your reports. We were like consoling you and trying to make sure you weren't like killing yourself. We were trying to make sure you were like you would stop and slow down and make the right decisions for yourself. I genuinely don't believe you would have made any police reports or anything to get your life in order if we hadn't been here to fucking coach you and push you along.
I'm seeing a lot of similarities between Kumo and Synny. Like, just then, there was a lot of guilt tripping in that, and honestly, to me, this just proves why they're perfect for each other. Kumo is extremely uneducated and manipulative.
What I said on Beckett's stream, you somehow made yourself a victim in that, because I said the ideal outcome is that you make IRL friends and you don't need us anymore. That was not at all mean-spirited or something you should have taken offense to. You should have real-life friends who care about you, so that you don't need your internet friends anymore. That is ideally the most healthy outcome for you.
For once, I actually agree with Kumo. I think everybody should have in real life friends so that they can have a support system outside of the internet. The internet is full of disgusting people like Kumo who might just take advantage of you. People who don't actually care and will have an ulterior motive. Yeah, you can meet people in real life like that, but it's not as common. Plus, having someone there physically is completely different than having someone across the world.
It was something else you said. It was something about, like, getting me out of the way so that you could...
Getting the discourse about you out of the way is exactly what I said. Getting the Synny stuff over with, so that when I talk about Birdie, people don't go, oh, well, what about Synny? What about Synny? It's like, well, Synny's been we've already discussed Synny. That's exactly what I said. I don't know how you're misquoting me, or, like, fucking misremembering whatever, like, what the part that you're talking about.
I just want to point out Jack doesn't like being called Birdie, and Synny knows that. So not only is this disrespectful from Kumo, but it's also disrespectful from Synny for not correcting him. If Synny cared even a little bit, she should be correcting him. Oh wait, that's right, she doesn't care because she called Jack Birdie in her own video. So yeah, way to show you care, Synny.
It's just... After all this, I don't know who to trust.
Or you don't?
And I don't know...
Do you even trust yourself?
No, honestly.
Oh. That's a damn shame.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
A lot is wrong with me.
So we all know there's no way that Synny can win this situation at all. But I also think if you're on a call that's being recorded, you should not come from a place of personal bias. Honestly, Kumo, you being rude to Synny just feels like you're trying to get on our good side. Look at me being mean to the groomer, everyone's gonna be on my side now, except no, you still defended her and you haven't apologized for it. And the only reason you're upset is because you caught her talking to Jar. You're jealous. So just take into mind being mean to someone that you previously defended and going after them for the same things that you defended them from really isn't a good look.
Why the fuck? I don't have any more empathy for you. Quite frankly, I don't appreciate being lied to, let alone to this extent.
How could she have lied to you if you saw the messages? If you saw the extent of their conversations, how could she have lied to you? You are contradicting yourself once again.
I want to bring up something because Simpleton brought it to me and Barry's attention, and we brought it up to Kumo, sort of, about Enno, and it's one of the things, like, you know, you didn't really tell us that this part, you had Enno read out the fucking rape comic in VC?
Like the dialogue. I didn't think to mention it. It just didn't seem like a...
All the questions we were asking you about you needing to be 100% honest about what was, like, damning and shit.
I mean, I didn't even think about it. It didn't even come across my mind.
You know, I was thinking about asking you that when it was coming out, because it was being brought up with the Pee-wee stuff, and that one person who was, like, schizophrenic that you knew when you were a minor yourself, too, that this was a thing you do. You'd ask anyone you share that comic with to read it. I was going to go on and ask you if you'd done that to Enno, but I didn't get a chance to because I was busy, and then you were also starting to dodge us. But then I had Himpleton come up and ask me, hey, did you know about this? At least with Enno.
I don't know, it's just like a...
Hey, Kumo, does knowing that fact change anything for you?
Yeah, quite a bit. Because that's, like, literally asking her to engage in your fetish.
Kumo has a very, very weird sense of judgment. Her sending porn to a minor is literally illegal, but the only thing that he's upset about is the fact that she made the minor read it. And again, if he saw all the chat logs, then he should have seen that call. He should have questioned her about that call. So either he genuinely does not care and is just now trying to act like he cares, or he liked Synni so much that it made him ignore everything. So he immediately came from a place of bias. And honestly, I'm also not opposed to the idea of it being both.
It was mostly just, like, being able to, like, hear what her reaction was.
Oh, okay. No, we're done. We're done. No, I'm not. He said that so fucking coldly and clearly. Oh my god. I'm baffled.
You know...
You asked her to read it, and you wanted her reaction. You know what that means?
Like, I wanted to see if she liked it or not.
Oh my god! And I really bothered to dispute what your intentions might have been.
I just like getting feedback. I didn't think
feedback during sex.
Not sex, no.
Well, you wanted feedback and effectively what is a sex act.
I didn't think it was like that.
Having her read out a rape comic out loud.
And this is what I was talking about on like Twitter and shit, that recently I've realized that everyone else was right for the wrong reasons.
Okay, so what you're not going to do is manipulate us into thinking that we're right for the wrong reasons, because that's not true. What we saw is what you blatantly ignored. We couldn't have been right for the wrong reasons if you saw everything. And if we are right for the wrong reasons, why haven't you shown us the right reasons? What you're trying to do here is deflect it onto us because you're too prideful to admit that you were wrong. You were wrong for the wrong reasons. And you're just projecting onto us so then you don't have to admit it. The only thing you can do now is stop, own up to your actions, and try to do better in the future. I also think it's really funny how you got on Pumpkin the Gentleman's case, who's younger than Synni and did less than what she's doing. It's blatant favoritism. You're blatantly biased.
I didn't know about that. Like, I didn't hear that.
You were warned about him.
Not like that. You didn't tell me any of that.
Did I need to?
He was like a fucking weirdo.
Oh wow, it's like the nitty-gritty didn't really fucking matter because you were already warned about him. I don't know. He seems alright. You didn't care who he was, Synni. You didn't care. Because even after he made those weird passes at you and you identified that it was weird, you didn't think, oh, something's up. I should probably not talk to him. You thugged it out. You powered through it. And I bet he would have graped you and you would have stayed quiet about it.
Okay,
so long as it meant your fucking career was fixed. Something we told you isn't in the fucking cards. Just a robot is an arrogant, ignorant, fucking bigoted ass.
I said it before and I'll say it again. This is all coming from a place of personal bias. You clearly already have your mind made up about Synni and Jar. You clearly already disliked Jar and you were clearly going to defend Synni no matter what. The only difference now is that you wanted to white knight for Synni, but Jar is taking that from you. And now that Jar's taking that, you're suddenly upset about everything. You blatantly sound jealous.
We genuinely believed, Synni, that you were just oversharing and this was like a result of you being super autistic. We gave you that benefit of the doubt when nobody else would. We were the only ones being fair. And rather than just being honest...
I thought I was being honest. I wasn't trying to hide things.
You weren't trying to omit important details like that. No.
I didn't think it was an important detail.
That's so convenient. Oh, did you forget that it happened?
I didn't forget. Well, I wasn't thinking about it.
She can't keep things from you if you saw the messages. If you saw everything in your own words, top to bottom, then she couldn't have possibly kept it from you. Please make up your mind. Did you see everything or did you not? Do you think she's a groomer or do you not? You can't just keep changing the stories and switching sides.
I'm glad you did. Because it's making all of this easier.
My, new realization was just that it shouldn't be for anyone, honestly. That I thought the way I thought was just normal. I thought that, it was normal to talk to people the way I did.
Okay, question. So
at first I thought it was just the issue of me talking to a minor like that, but I'm realizing I shouldn't be talking to anyone like that.
Wait, so Sandy, you don't see an issue by having a minor read you porn?
She never said that. She never said that. No, Cinny, you knew it was an issue because we told you this is beyond just kids. And this is what I've been saying vehemently from the rooftops, that it's beyond just kids. You are a danger to not only yourself, but everyone around you. Men, women, children, maybe even animals. You're a danger to everyone around you.
Again, just another baseless accusation. Where do you keep getting these? I don't like these people either, but that's not the problem. The problem lies where, because you're spreading baseless accusations, people are going to get confused. Baseless accusations make the truth harder to find. You know who else makes baseless accusations? Lio. And based on my own experiences right now, you're acting exactly like Lio.
And I'll be real with you, before you just self-reported in this call, my reasoning for not wanting to help you, and just, cutting you off, was just because you wouldn't help yourself. And that you're a liar. And I'm not going to waste my energy on someone like you. No, Cinny! No! You shouldn't be you shouldn't be trying to engage in fucking non-con fetishes with strangers. You engage in BDSM in the bedroom with someone you trust. You talk about sex shit in that very, intimate and inappropriate manner with an adult. One whom you trust. Preferably someone you're in a, committed romantic relationship with. That's preferable.
As someone who's in this kind of scene, it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or not. Many people, even not in the BDSM scene, have sex without having a relationship. It's perfectly normal. What Kumo's doing is focusing on the wrong thing. What he should have said is preferably someone your own fucking age. You can do this kind of stuff with someone that's younger than you, but they still need to be over the age of 18. They still need to be consenting age. They shouldn't be 14. We hate people like Cindy in this community. We don't claim her. This isn't some BDSM shit. This is just her being predatory. She's not a part of this community.
All the people right now that are calling you a pedophile are dumb. I have a knot in my stomach, knowing that I tried to help you, and you actually are a predator. There was intent. There was clear intent. You made her read it to you. You wanted her reaction. That is intent. All this maniacal laughing you did with Jar in that interview, did it ever cross your mind that was the case? That you like Jar, felt like you could get away with it? No, you've been calling everyone dumb and maniacally laughing like we heard it in the interview.
I wanted to ask something else because Barry had brought it up in a VC, something she wanted to ask you because, you brought up how you went to your therapist. Your therapist didn't know, also didn't believe you were a groomer, right? But
that's what she told me.
But then Barry was like, did she show them or share the logs? But then you dodged her when she asked you that?
I don't know if I heard that.
Well,
it may be good to show it to her.
Yeah, you should also bring up how you had the kids read in voice call the rape comic you sent.
Yeah, I think.
I bet you they'll shift tone real fast.
So again, another thing that all of us have been saying, and you guys just blatantly ignored it. You guys didn't even bother to check to make sure that her therapist saw everything. You didn't ask, did you? You guys are only upset now because of all of the backlash that you've been getting. None of you even care that NO was groomed. None of you seem to even care. All you care about is your reputation, and it's actually disgusting. But at least you guys are finally listening to us now.
Who knows, Cinny? You're young. Maybe you'll get a slap on the wrist. I mean, I hope not. I would really hope not.
but maybe you'll get a slap on the wrist.
So actually, most times if your fellow inmates find out if you groomed a child or were predatory towards a child, you'll get killed. And if not killed, you're at least getting tortured. There are people in that jail who have kids of their own. Child offenders are at risk of being murdered, having their food taken, having their cells defecated and urinated in, and multiple other things that make their lives a living hell. If she went to jail, she wouldn't survive, and I'm sure you already knew that.